guys, it's Dr. Evelyn here, and I'm with my little baby Ruth, and I'm finally making a video during my maternity leave. I've been having so many thoughts. This video was inspired by actually the Money Guys podcast, which is a financial podcast, and their question that they were talking about was, are you ready to be wealthy? And they were making some good points that I transferred into, are you actually ready to be healthy? Because there are so many people that try so many different things to get healthy, and they go through these little phases or little trials every now and again, and especially around the new year time, and then they don't sustain those practices. And so this December, before the new year, before you set your goals for 2021, I want you to really take a look and see if you are actually ready to be healthy. Can you sustain your health? And so there are 5 things that are signs that you are not actually ready to create a sustainable health change. So I'm going to go over all 5 of those signs. Hopefully you can diagnose yourself if you fall into these so that you can quickly assess, rearrange, and be ready to be healthy in the new year. Sign number 1 that you are not ready to be healthy is you only live for today. So if you are one of those like YOLO people, good for you in some respects, but not really when it comes to your health. The thing is, we are the only ones in our minds that can think about where we want to be 40 years from now, right? Our bodies are actually biologically set up to survive each moment. There's not a ton of systems in place for looking out for what's next, right? I mean, we store fat and sugar. That's pretty much all we do for the future of ourselves. And we don't really do a ton to think about what's happening in the vast future. And that's because human life expectancy used to be way lower, right? When human beings first evolved, nobody was living until they were 80. Why on earth would we have wasted brain space, time, energy, and physiological systems to help us become 80 years old when that was basically unheard of? You're probably going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger before then, right? So now people are living until they're 80 on average in the US, and it's only going up. So what kind of a life do we want to live in the future? Do we really only want to live for the moment and succumb to basically our physiological setup where we're just stressed and living in cortisol overload and living in fight or flight and not, and just abusing our bodies, and then we get left with worn out bodies in the future? One thing is, people always say like, oh, this is just age, like this is my knee and my knee hurts because of my age, I'm just getting old. And I always say to them, well, is your right knee the same age as your left knee? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well then why does only the right one hurt? It's not just age, it's the way you've been wearing yourself out. And so we are the only ones that can live to the future. Now I want to say something about the YOLO thing. I am totally a proponent of living in the moment and really being present and understanding. But I can promise you, you're not going to look back on your life and regret that you ate healthy foods and nurtured yourself and honored your body. You're not going to regret the fact that you exercised and worked out and went for runs and breathed fresh air and all of that stuff. Maybe if you think of it as like slaving away and you're not actually getting any like enjoyment out of using your body, or you don't couple it with gratitude, you might feel that way. But it's not really those things that you're going to regret. I'm not talking about like not doing experiences, because like YOLO, like there's a balance. Think about what you're actually going to regret in the future. Okay, so you want to master deferred gratification. That is the key thing here, is can you put in a little bit of work now to get results over time? And that's going to be the thing with anything that our bodies do, because our bodies, there is no process that does not require time. And same with chiropractic. At the beginning, you might not have the same results as you do with when you do with consistent chiropractic care. It's just like everything with our bodies, like exercising. You can't just work out once and see changes in your body and just be ripped suddenly. You can't eat one salad and have the nutrients you need to survive. This is something that you have to sustain, and it's not something, you can only live once. These are things that have to be habitual in order to get you to where you want to be in the future. So, if there's a sign that you are not ready to be healthy, is that you only think about today, then in order to be healthy, you've got to start thinking about your future. Number 2 reason why you are not ready to be healthy is that you focus too much on appearances. So, appearances are a huge driver for a lot of people, especially now in the world of social media. And we see these beautiful people, their life, and don't even get me started on like the mommy Instagrams where I'm just like, how does your kid not have a bald spot? Because mine sleeps on its back, and so that's what happened. Did you like draw fake hair on your child before you took this picture? Okay, I digress. Basically, if you are doing something that is in the realm of health, right? Like you are dieting or exercising, and you're doing it solely for the purpose of looking good or seeming like you have a certain lifestyle, that is not going to be very sustainable for you. And a lot of times it's actually not healthy, because some of these diets actually like make it so that you have an imbalance of your macronutrients, or they suck all the water out of your body, and so that you seem skinnier and lighter, but actually you're just dehydrated. So there are things you have to be really careful of in these circumstances. And same with the exercise plans. You might have a lot of motivation in the beginning because you're losing weight and you're looking great, but then you get to a point where you plateau or you stop losing weight or whatever, and then it becomes really, really hard to sustain that level of activity because you're not seeing the outward results that you want. So if you're only doing it for an outward result, like, oh, you worked out and now you're not losing any more weight. Well, what about the fact that your heart is more healthy, that you're stronger, that you are more protected from injury because you're used to using your body in a certain way? There's so many other benefits that if you're only doing things for appearances, that is not really a great reason. But even in athletes, for example, we've seen so many athletes that they're amazing, they're at the top of their game, but they wear their bodies out so quickly, right? Because they're doing it for the stardom, they're doing it for the money, they're doing it for the game, they're doing it to be the best that they can, and they're kind of putting all of their eggs in one basket, right? So if you have a good thing like pinnacle health and an amazing health at a young age, why wouldn't you want to expand that good over as much time as possible? Something that you can do in a sustainable way that maintains. And then again, when you are injured or something negative happens, we want to nip that right in the bud so that it doesn't have problems later. I get so many patients that have had car accidents 10 years ago, and now they're just starting to have shoulder, neck, all these problems. And they never thought they didn't think that it was a really serious accident when it happened. They felt fine after. But these delayed effects that if we don't nip it in the bud right away, they can expand. So not only are we not doing it for appearances, but we want to expand the good that we have, the resources that we have, and shrink the bad. And those are actually good motivators for how we go through our health. Chiropractic does all of that, where chiropractic is really great post-injury. We make sure that everything's moving properly and that you're not compensating in your body, and make sure that it doesn't create a pattern that persists for years on end. Also, when you're in great shape, that's another great time to go to the chiropractor, because that is expanding that good. That is keeping things moving. It's so much easier to keep things moving than it is to like push a boulder that's stopped. We want to use the momentum you already have and just keep it rolling. So number 2, not for appearances, but for the right reasons. Number 3 reason why you are not ready to be healthy is because you don't know your priorities. Let me just say this. There are a lot of people that, let me just say this. Time is a limited resource. For a lot of us, money is a limited resource. And I get so many people who come in and they have chronic health problems, but they are telling me that care is just really too expensive for them. They can't really sustain it. And I see them, not all the time. Sometimes I really get it and I understand. But a lot of times I see these people and they have their hair recently done. They are going on vacations fairly often. They are buying, I can see what kinds of clothes that they're wearing and, the range of what that costs. And so sometimes I wonder, is this really too expensive for you, or are you just not prioritizing this right? If you don't make your own health a priority, then you will not sustain it. Fun fact. This kind of ties into the appearances thing in some regards, but it's not always appearances. You've got to decide that your health is a priority to you, and you've got to invest the time or the money or whatever it is into it. It's not going to invest in itself. A lot of times people take their health for granted and they kind of dip into it like it's a pocket of, it's like a loan or something. And they go and do all these other things, and then they end up with this health debt that is swallowing them up. And you do not want to be in health debt. You want to be in health abundance, where you have more than the health that you are required, so that in case any inevitable stress comes up or accident or whatever, you have a reserve of health so that you can be really vital. I'll give a personal example. When I just gave birth to Ruth, I had some extra bleeding after her birth, where my bleeding didn't stop as quickly as the nurse midwives wanted, and so they were concerned about that. But because I'm in such good health, I didn't have any real serious complications after that. My blood levels were normal. My anemia resolved really quickly. I didn't have to take the iron supplements that they sent me home with, because I got my blood drawn a few weeks later and I was already back to normal blood levels. I didn't have any of the symptoms of blood loss I wasn't feeling dizzy or lightheaded or any of that. And that's because I had invested in my health enough where I had a reserve where I wasn't already low and already anemic and then had that happen to me. I was so healthy that it didn't even I was able to handle the blow. So that's where we want to be. We don't want to be taking losses in our health, and we sure as heck need to know our priorities and make that a priority. Chiropractic does that by allowing you to see benefits even if you come in and you don't have any symptoms. Chiropractic care can be beneficial to you. So, to recap, one of the reasons you are not healthy is because you have a kind of a health debt going on because you're not really prioritizing your health. So what you can do to be healthy is to prioritize it and make sure you have a health reserve. Number 4 reason that you are not ready to be healthy. You don't know your why. I've talked about this so many times, and then even like the first number 2 and number 3 of this list encompass this a little bit, but you have to have a solid understanding of why it's important to you to be healthy. Otherwise, you will not sustain it, right? It can't be about appearances. It can't be, you have to make it a priority. But a way to make it a priority is to know your why. So, what does that mean? It means, what is your motivation for wanting to be healthy? Deep down, based on your core values. Another way to ask yourself this is to say, what would I lose if I didn't have my health? And for a lot of people, that's like you would lose your independence. You would have to be depending on other people to take care of you all the time. You would be incapable. You wouldn't be able to keep up with people. You wouldn't be able to take care of your grandkids. You wouldn't be able to go on the hikes and the adventures that you want to go on. As for some people, we really fear not being valuable. And sometimes when we're not healthy, we would feel like, oh, we're just a burden. Like we wouldn't be able to contribute and do the things that we love. I certainly wouldn't be able to do my job if I didn't have a high level of health and strength and function and mobility. So there's a lot of things that you would be sacrificing if you don't have your health, and you need to understand what those are, and that will help you understand why it's important to you. For me, I need to be there for my family. I need to be there for Ruth. I want to be there for my patients. I want to be able to contribute. I love traveling and adventuring and seeing things and being outside, and a lot of those opportunities are limited if you have health problems. So yeah, it's really important to me, and that's why I make it a huge priority in my life, right? So there's this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Chiropractic actually helps on every single level of this, right? Chiropractic helps with digestion, sleep, reproductive health, breathing, all of that kinds of stuff. Then chiropractic also helps with us feeling safe because we have our, overall health. We're able to move, we're able to function, we're able to get what the things that we need. And then it helps with our relationships because we are able to, be able to reflect and understand and not be in chronic states of stress. So we're able to relate to other people well. We're able to function with higher cognition because we're not just using our reptilian reflexes, and we're able to actually think things through and use our logical brain. Chiropractic helps with this esteem or respect aspect. We can have strength and freedom. Those are all things that are part of that category. And then self-actualization, which is understanding our why and why we're here, only with deep reflection and designated time to spend in being in our body and understanding how our body is processing the things that are coming at us and integrating our experiences, will we really get to self-actualization. So chiropractic helps with every level of the hierarchy of needs. And so if your why isn't in there somewhere, I don't know where it is, and know that chiropractic can help you. To recap, people who are not ready to be healthy don't know their why, and people who are ready to be healthy know their why and understand their motivations behind why they want to be healthy. Number 5, and the last reason why you are not ready to be healthy. Number 5 is that you just don't have the maturity level yet, or not taking responsibility for yourself. So with age comes the responsibility in general. But with our health, it's really interesting because for the majority of our childhood, someone else is really taking care of us and making health decisions for us, right? I mean, even up until you move out of your parents' house, they are probably the ones deciding what you eat every day. And so you have to come to the realization that only you are responsible for your health. It's no one else's job to make sure that you're staying healthy. Not even your doctor, not even, I don't care who. It's up to you. You have to make the decisions for that. And that is a belief that comes and an understanding that comes later in life generally. So that's why they said it was, age related. But you can make this understanding anytime. I remember for me, graduating from high school and moving out for the first time, I didn't know how to cook for myself, and I didn't know how to exercise for myself because I'd always played sports as a child. So I did not know, what to do in the gym or how to come up with a workout, or because I just was given workouts all the time or coached or whatever. So this is just an example of this. I had to learn how to be responsible for myself. I had to learn how to feed myself and what to cook, and learn how to cook healthy things, and take the time to learn how to cook healthy things, and learn how to work out, and learn what kinds of workouts felt good to me, and it was a persistent thing where realizing that it was only up to me to be healthy and to take control of my health. If I hadn't done that, would I have gone through all of that effort? Or would I have just kept waiting for somebody else to give me what I needed to be healthy? When you're young, you tend to hang out with other people who are, again, not as great at delayed gratification. They are, more the YOLO. They're feeling more, immune to the effects of old age. You heal quicker. You're just already naturally more healthy. And so you don't really think about the health problems. So it can be really easy to just be eating pizza every night because that's what's there, and binge drinking, and you can wake up of a day and go play a sport and not even really be that sore the next day. But as you get older, obviously those things don't happen as easily, right? It takes a little longer for us to recover from a night out, and it takes a little bit longer to heal when we get injured, and it certainly is a lot more risky to just pick up and play something that you haven't played in a long time. That's when people tear muscles and that kind of stuff happens. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are being immature and not thinking about their future? Or are you surrounding yourself with other people who are taking their health seriously? Because really, if you are surrounded by other people who live a healthy lifestyle, you're way more likely to live in a healthy way, because that's the norm and that's what's happening around you, and you're not missing out on anything. But vice versa, if you're just hanging around a bunch of party animals and eating pizza all the time, if someone orders pizza, it's going to be pretty damn hard not to eat that pizza. And so, you have to be conscientious of what you're looking out for. And at EUDAIMONIA, that's what we want to do for you. We want to be there for you and support you in your decisions and help you make the responsible choices and help you be accountable and be accountability buddies to you as you go through your life and attempt to implement some of these great healthy habits. So for this one, if one of the reasons why you're not ready to be healthy is that you just don't have the maturity and you're not ready to take responsibility for yourself and the people you surround yourself with, then in order to be healthy, you got to take responsibility and surround yourself with people who are like-minded and ready to do the same. Hey guys, that's all of them. That's the 5 reasons why you may or may not be ready to be healthy. Let's really start to focus on this before the new year, before you make that resolution, so that we can actually sustain it throughout all of 2021 and beyond. I really hope this video helped you understand how we at EUDAIMONIA Chiropractic can help you be healthy and create this sustainable health change that is going to take you from 2021 and beyond. So give us a call. We're happy to help you, and cheers to your health. Take care. Bye.